Hi everyone. I wanted to share with you today an experience that I had whilst of a data download whilst I was in a session with a client. And this happened a few months ago, and since then I've been, I'm going to say, going back there to find out a bit more about the information download that I got at the time. Now, the reason I'm sharing, I'm hoping it's going to be interesting to you, and I also want to see if anybody else has had a similar sort of information, because what sometimes happens is when you get a download of information, you sometimes want to validate it yourself and see if anybody else has had that information. So hence why I might as well just put it out there. You know, guides are okay for me to share it. I don't think it's anything secret at all. So they start telling me about it. So I was in a session with a client a few months ago and asking certain questions because this client wants some healing. And I don't know if you know what happens when you're with the Galactic guides. You can just go off anywhere in the galaxy without not even quite knowing at the time why you're doing it. So in this session, we were told that we were to pick up tablets. The way the guides showed me, it was tablets, you know, in the kind of form, you know, a bit like a knowing of, you know, in Moses picked up his, you know, 10 Commandments tablets, but they're not in stone tablet form. These tablets were more of a very high-tech sci-fi, where they were like a sort of almost like a holographic disc. And when they were activated, they showed me one activation, and they would go up in the air like a sci-fi film version of it, and you know, on a piece of glass, if you like, and you'd be pressing buttons on there. So we were asked to collect these tablets that we'd apparently must have placed in other lifetimes, in other aspects of us, other aspects of ourselves. And we must have had to place them very safely, and hence why they were scattered all around. But we were asked to collect them, you know, so that we could get them all together. And at the time, in that one session, I think we collected about 10 each of these discs. And what I really want, obviously there were places that, you know, like Egypt, which you'd imagine, you know, I always think, oh, you know, you always imagine Egypt's going to be the place. But one of the strangest places, the very first place I was told to go to, and it was a knowing, was the Himalayas, the bottom, I'm going to say the bottom of the Himalayas, wherever that might be. And this is knowing that I am, you know, I live in Britain, live in England, as you can tell from the accent, and I have never been to the Himalayas, certainly not in this lifetime. So I just had a knowing that we're in the bottom of the Himalayas, and this is where we had, you know, the start of the collection. So, and this went on, you know, in a very similar way, with all the other places that we needed to collect it, whether it was on Earth or on other planets. And going back to the Himalayas, there was a rock face, and we knew that the tablets were hidden in the rock face, and we had to go through, obviously it's not in third dimension, so we went through a stargate, a portal, whatever you want to call them, you know, with our code, and then started collecting them from there. And these tablets, they were connected with our own DNA, so I could collect my tablets only, and it was almost as if you were reaching your hand down to collect a little disc, the tablet, and as if the tablet almost just brought itself to your hand. But yeah, I could only get the tablets that were part of me, and I wouldn't be able to collect anybody else's tablets. You know, my DNA wouldn't connect with it or activate with it or anything. That was again the knowing or the feeling that I got, or what they were showing me. And so we did collect all those, we collected, yes, about 10 tablets that day. And then since then, I have connected in myself to try and find out a bit more about why on earth we've got these tablets. And every time now, I've collected a few more tablets, but every time I go and I get them, so I go and activate them to find out, basically in these tablets, there are an activation, there are information of what I am, or anybody, what I am as my mission, what I'm here to do, certainly understanding in this life, and it's obviously a DNA story from other aspects of yourself and what you've done before. So what you're fitting with your mission on Earth now. So basically, I keep going to activate them, and for me personally, it's all about our DNA and how our DNA works, and obviously not just the physical DNA, as we know there are many ways DNAs are going to be more, we're getting more and more activated as we go along, very accelerated at the moment with activations. So this is just, I'm just still learning at the moment how all this works and what these tablets are going to tell me. But as well, I wanted to find out a little bit more, but very confused at the moment, of why I keep going to the Himalayas to activate these tablets. And they keep showing me, I don't know how else to say it, I keep getting, when I go in and connect, I actually I'm more a visual person rather than audible. So, and a little bit of just knowing that things are happening, or really not knowing things are happening because you're really not quite sure what's going on when you're connecting with the galactics. So, well, we do, I'm sorry, galactics, we do. We do know what's going on. And so I keep going to the Himalayas, going underground. And then when you go underground, it is as if you're on, I'm going to say, it's the only way I can describe it is if you're on some ship or vessel, because it's all brilliant white. I also want to point out here what I've not explained. I'm going with my consciousness. This is not a remote viewing that I know of. This is not me being sent physically. This is just, very safe, and it's my consciousness. So I'm working telepathically on going with what the guides are showing me as such, or our guides, as we know, are other aspects of ourselves a lot of the time, plus our soul family. So but my biggest query is around why the Himalayas, because I've not quite seen anything yet. I have seen one, I think it was one person who'd had some experiences under the Himalayas. I've not really read too much on it, but there's certainly other places, many underground places around the world that things are happening. But I just wanted to share not even just the fact that it's under the Himalayas, but the fact that it's we're actually getting information in the form of tablets. Now, again, I do know this could be my imagination going very vividly, going wild, and it could be just a nice, fun way of finding out your own mission. But I just wondered if anybody else had been doing a data download in this particular way with their tablets. So if anybody has had any similar experiences, or they want to know any more about it, please get in touch with me. It'd be great to hear from you. And thanks for now.